In this video, we're going to talk about how to get clients in a consulting business. I have a lot to share, so let's dive in. How to get clients in a consulting business is a big topic. Fortunately, we have a lot of fantastic videos right here on this channel. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that. But in this video, I want to talk about the right mix that you want to aim for in terms of where your corporate clients are coming from. And let's talk first and foremost about where we do not want them coming from, at least entirely. We've been around for over 19 years, and what we see time and again is that for nearly 100% of solo experts out there, when they're getting their business started and for the first few years, they're in a situation where over 90% of all of their clients are coming from passive word of mouth via their existing professional network, and only 10% is coming from outside of their existing network. And sometimes there is no other little circle right here. It's just 100% of business is coming from their existing professional network. And that may not seem like a bad thing. A lot of folks say, but Angelique, word of mouth and referrals, those are great. I didn't have to do anything. They're just coming to me. And that's true that word of mouth and referrals are great. But when your business is reliant on them, when paying your mortgage and your car payment and your kids' college tuition and being able to take a vacation is entirely dependent on word of mouth and referrals that you have no control over, it puts you in a very bad position. And essentially what it means is that you have an untrained, unmanaged, unaccountable sales team. You've essentially outsourced the responsibility of your business and the revenue that it needs to generate for your family. You have outsourced it to the rest of the world, really without their consent, right? And again, these are folks you haven't trained, they're not accountable, you're not having weekly sales meetings with your professional network. So you're sitting by the phone, you're sitting by email, hoping that somebody sends a client your way. And it puts you in a place of really being a disempowered CEO who's at the mercy of your friends, your family, your former coworkers, your peers, etc. And we like to say it's essentially being up a creek without a paddle. That's not where we want to see you be, and that's a big part of why Bold House exists, because we want to put you in the driver's seat of your business. Before we move on, there's one more thing that I really want you to understand when it comes to the risk and the opportunity cost to your business when you are 90% or more reliant on referrals and word of mouth. When you look at the marketplace and you look at all the decision makers who are your ideal right fit target decision makers that are in the marketplace, you can basically break them all down into one of these categories in terms of their readiness level to be ready to buy services from an expert or a firm like yours. And here's the thing, at any given time, only 1% to 3% of the target market is in a ready now buying place to buy the expertise or services that you sell. This is also the only group of decision makers who ever ask for an introduction or a referral. Let's say you're a chief learning officer or the head of learning and development inside of an organization. If you're not ready to buy from an outside trainer, executive coach, or consultant, you're not asking anyone for a referral or introduction to a coach or a trainer or a consultant. You are only asking for that introduction when you're ready to make a purchase. Okay, well that doesn't sound so bad, Angelique. The people who are coming to me are the ones who are ready. Yes, but nowadays, decision makers really only talk to the people who are already on their short list when they're ready to make a buying decision, when they're ready to invest in coaching, consulting, professional services. So if you're not talking to this part of the market and educating them on what your firm does, when you do it, how you do it, the results that you get for your clients, and you're ignoring this part of the market, it means you are leaving 97% of the opportunity untouched. And you're only taking advantage of stuff that makes it all the way to this level of readiness and happens to get a word of mouth referral to you, which means you are operating with a microcosmic, small, infinitesimal, teeny, tiny bit of the potential opportunity that's out there for your business right now. That's a huge problem. And no amount of posting on social media is going to fix that. Let's take a look at the ideal mix of where your leads should come from if you want your business to not just be sustainable, but have a level of growth year after year after year. You want about 1/3 of your leads coming from your professional network, but the difference here is that it's proactively driven by you, not passive. Then you want about 1/3 of your business opportunities coming through your outbound activities. High engagement, high interactivity with right fit decision makers, things that you are proactively creating with exactly the decision makers you want to work with. And you want about 1/3 of your leads coming inbound through digital sources. Now, this mix of 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 takes time to create, but it's worth it because of the benefits to your business. First and foremost, it gives you diversification as to where your leads and where your revenue is coming into the business. That's going to lower your risk. In addition, it means that you have a deeper sales pipeline. You're operating with more visibility into where the revenue is coming, not just for the next 3 to 4 weeks, but possibly for the next 12 to 24 months. And it allows you to capture future opportunities before other competitors in the market, before other coaches and consultants and trainers and service providers even know those opportunities exist. And it makes sure that you and your firm are on those short lists, which is a big deal because decision maker shortlists are shrinking. Typically today, decision makers only talk to 1 to 3 potential outside experts before making their purchase. So you want to make sure that you're on those shortlists before they're making those purchasing decisions. And the only way to really do that is to make sure you have 1/3 of your revenue coming proactively through your network, 1/3 that's coming through your proactive outbound outreach, and 1/3 coming in to you from inbound digital sources. Keep in mind that this right here is your fastest path to cash flow. This is a medium path to cash flow, and your inbound is your slowest path to cash flow. This can take multiple years, a lot of time and energy, a lot of resources, a lot of Oompa Loompas helping you to build that inbound on those digital sources. The algorithms are always changing. There's always another platform you've got to cover. So this is really your slowest path. This is your fastest path, and this is right here, the middle. If this was helpful to you, the next thing that you want to do is head over to wincorporateclients.com. That's where you're going to find our quick start guide on building a $1 million boutique firm. I lay out the roadmap to doing that there. I also want to invite you to join me now for our next video on how to sell to big companies. We go more in depth into these strategies. Let's keep the conversation going there. I've dropped the link for you in the description right below. Click on that now, and I will see you there in just a bit.